What up, guys? It's Tyler here. Gonna have to talk about the story of an hour and the awakening combined somewhat, and both of them are written by Kate Chopin. But anyways, in the story of an hour, the beginning sentence tells us that Mrs. Mallard has heart trouble, that there's something wrong with her heart, and that great care was taken to tell her that her husband had died and that he was on the train that wrecked. And Mr. Richard, which is Mr. Mallard's one of his really good friends, is the first one to find out that the train had crashed and that he may have been on the train. So he thought to himself, he can't be the one to tell her that her husband died. So he tells her sister Josephine, and her sister Josephine tells her in broken sentences. And broken sentences is kind of like telling her, just basically not coming out and saying, hey, your husband died on the train wreck today. It was, hey, that train that wrecked earlier today, your husband was on it. Something like that was said to her. And she wept very heavily in her sister's arms when she first found out that her husband had died. And after her sister had left her alone and she was alone and everything, she realized that a big physical exhaustion had left her. She was free. She even said it in the passage, free, free, free. We see that she was constricted somewhat in this relationship and that she's finally getting to open up and things. And later on in the passage, it says that there would be no powerful will bending her. And that says that nobody else can be her boss again, and nobody else will tell her what to do, and that she has her whole entire life in front of her. And it goes on to say that she's open now. She knows what she wants in her life. She doesn't want to be with him anymore. So in the passage later on, they hear a knock on the door and the key opening and everything like that, and it's Mr. Ballard, Mr. Mallard. And then Josephine screams, and it's like, oh my God, he's alive. And Mr. Richard is there too, and he tries to cover him up so Mrs. Mallard doesn't see him and have a heart attack. But he's too late. So Mrs. Mallard sees this and dies. And it says in the passage, it says, doctors said it was the heart disease of joy that kills. So we can get from this that she was happy pretty much that her husband had died. She was free. She could do what she wanted. She wasn't chained down to him anymore in perspective. And we can connect this to the awakening, because in the awakening, the girl wakes up, and she doesn't literally wake up. She realizes that, hey, I can do whatever. And she lusts with these other guys and stuff, and she's open, she's free. She has nothing holding her back anymore. But that's really pretty much all I have to say about the story of an hour and the awakening. And if you have any questions, any comments or anything, just reply to the post or whatever. And I'm having to do the same thing y'all are doing, and it's not the greatest, but it's whatevs.